This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSPORT Fan Network. TalkSPORT. Powered by fans.
Hello, welcome to this post-match edition of Red Side of the Trent, here to bring you the discussion of the 1-1 draw at Selhurst Park. I'm delighted to be joined by Danny Wetton and Reese Lane, who was down at Selhurst Park and managed to get back to his Airbnb rapid. That is very fast, Reese. Danny, how are you, first of all?
Yeah, really good. Happy to be back on, guys. So, yeah, good to see you all. Hope you're both well. Reese, that is a rapid recovery from Selhurst Park, by the way.
Literally 5-minute walk, I booked it, so I'm delighted to be back.
Yeah, Reese, how are you? What were the vibes full time? Should I say?
Really positive, mate. Pretty much most of the fans stayed behind and clapped them off. You know, it was a game we gave everything, didn't we, tonight? You can't say it was a lack of effort, anything like that. Odd times, obviously, the bit of quality was lacking, but yeah, not down to a lack of effort or anything like that tonight. And they got a good reception. They definitely deserved that.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a game that we couldn't afford to lose tonight, and I think we proved that well. We fought back, but we'll start with the team news, Danny. I mean, a bit of a shock to the system with Ibrahim Sangare coming into the side, but him and Dominguez come in for Ryan Yates and Callum Hudson-Odoi. He was actually in the crowd with you, Reece, so I mean, we'll talk about that in a bit. But what did you make of that lineup, Danny? First of all,
do you know what? I was quite actually happily surprised to see Sangare in there. To be honest, I think he gave us a pivot that we've missed for actually quite a while, and I think he did it very well. He kept it ticking. He broke up play quite well. I think first 10-15 minutes of the game, you could tell that he was a little bit rusty, but I think the whole team was. But then we grew into it quite well. But yeah, I thought Sangare was a good option to have, and I was happy with the change.
Reece, same to you, really. What was it like around in the concourse or wherever you might have been hanging out pre-match sort of thing? Because he's come from the cold, really. I think it was his first start since August, which is mental.
Yeah, in the league it would be, wouldn't it? I guess in the obviously the odd few cameos he has, he's shown that he's been pretty okay, hasn't he? He's not, I wouldn't say he's been amazing or terrible. He's shown he can offer us something, and we've said on this podcast, haven't we, how Nuno's got to use his squad really more. So we gave him a go tonight, and I actually agree with Danny. I thought some things he did really good. Odd times he was a little bit rusty, but I thought overall he put in a decent performance. When he did get the yellow, that is the time when, because of the pace of the game, really, you've got to make the change, which he did, because there was an accumulation of fouls. And with the referee tonight, I'm amazed someone didn't get sent off with how freely he was booking players, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we're sticking with yourself. I think we did really well, actually, to kind of control Crystal Palace after the first 10-15 minutes. I thought we were really quieting their crowd down. I think we got into it where there was a good period of time in that first half where we had a lot of the ball, but we just weren't really doing a lot with it. And I think that kind of killed us, not having that outlet on the right-hand side. Olaraina wasn't really getting forward as much as I'd like him to, but I think that was kind of a precaution there, not getting caught out going the other way. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I thought some of his interplay and movement in that first half was really good. It was just couldn't quite get that pass right, and the bounce of the ball wasn't quite breaking for us. But it was a pretty kind of bit of like a first round of a boxing match analogy, isn't it? Really, where you kind of figure each other out, and it was just obviously good that we didn't concede a silly goal or anything first half, really. I think that was the main positive from it. Obviously, like you said, Adam, with Dominguez on the right, you do lose that natural balance, and you're also putting Elanga on the other side, where I think probably all agree. I can't speak for Danny, but we prefer him on the right hand side. So
Yeah, I do too.
yeah. So yeah, I thought we did all right first half. I thought it was a game at half time where you look at it and think, well, this is there for the taking.
I think we just set up exactly how we should do, like to prevent them and get back to what we're good at, and we did. And the first half was if Elanga takes that opportunity at the end of the half,
yeah,
granted it was
move
different,
that.
but if he takes that opportunity, the game plan's worked to a T, hasn't it? So I thought we set up perfectly. Yeah, fair enough. It's frustrating that we didn't create more, but it was always going to happen. Like Reece said, with Callum out, the starting lineup. But I thought first off, the game plan worked to a T. And I thought you could tell, like you said, with the crowd quieting down, getting a bit on the back of the Palace players, it just really was testament to the team and the effort they were putting in, keeping the defensive shape, not really moving out of it. I wasn't too displeased with it. I was pretty happy with it.
I mean,
I think as well, like their fans are naturally going to just be thinking about the FA Cup final now, aren't they? These Premier League games, they're just like end of season for them. And to be fair, Palace are a very similar side in the way they set up to us. You know, they obviously sit behind the ball and then they can spring on the counter with the players they've got. You know, like Adam Wharton keeps it ticking. You've got Munoz, who's an absolute flying machine. Ismail Assar the same. Eze's quick. Mateta into slouch. So they're very similar to us of that. You know, when they get on the counter, that's when they can kind of hurt you, really. So it was two similar sides. So no surprise, I'd say that has finished in a draw.
Yeah, Danny, me and you had this discussion in our WhatsApp group about Elanga's chance, and I thought if he's a bit wider and the ball's better, he can come onto it with his right foot, and you think he can only take it with his left. And then I rewatched it, and I thought it was a poor pass from Wood at the end. But do you think he should score in there, or do you think he just does well to actually get a shot away?
I think with the beauty of seeing it back, I didn't realise how slow the ball actually came to him. I thought he just dithered on it a little bit, but he didn't. The ball came across his body quite slowly, so he probably did well to get a shot that wasn't blocked off. Obviously, we'd like him to test him a little bit more than he did, but we're talking split seconds here, that level of game in a Premier League game where the ball comes across them, defenders are rapid. So I think he did all right. I mean, with hindsight, could he have tucked it in at the actual near post because Henderson was already going away to his left? But you can't really grumble at it. It's the one chance we've had in that half, and yeah, it is what it is. Like I was happy with the first half, so I'm not really going to grumble at the fact that at least he didn't miss the target. Basically, at least he's actually made Henderson work. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you'd kind of think Elanga would probably score the way he's been playing. He's been such full of confidence recently. So I think just like you say, eat the target. That's all you can ask in kind of that situation. You'd love him to do better in another way, but not to be. Second half started off really well, Reece. I thought both sides looked like they wanted to go for it. I thought Palace started on the front foot, but I mean, I'd say arguably the two chances of the game before the goals was that save from Matt Sells against Ismail Assar, and then we go up the other end, and Wood should arguably score there as well, shouldn't he?
Yeah, it was. I think the away end actually thought he'd shanked it wide, but it deflected wide. And I actually probably only one of the ones, I'm not blaming Trumpet here, who actually saw it deflect. But I don't know if there's anybody watching who would have seen the Rangers Celtic game yesterday. That literally happened in that game. Adam Eder missed a chance for Celtic. Rangers went down the other end, and 30 seconds later in the back of the net. So very similar in terms of, you know, Sells makes a brilliant save at one end, and then, you know, we go down the other, and unfortunately we just couldn't score. I mean, as soon as I thought it was in, and then obviously saw that nick, and, you know, it goes wide of the post, and yeah, it was kind of them thinking, is it going to be another one of them nights where we just kind of can't score? But obviously we did. Unfortunately, though, it was a reply to a penalty.
Yeah, I mean, we'll talk about that penalty actually, because Danny Reece said in our other WhatsApp group, there's lots to talk about WhatsApp groups on this podcast, but he said the ball to the back post is absolutely killing us, and lo and behold, it did kill us, because I can't remember who whips the ball in to our penalty box, but Tyreek Mitchell was free as a bird, and kind of Sells can't really do much about taking him down, can he?
I mean, if he doesn't, he's got a tap in, hasn't he? So I don't even think he's actually deliberately brought him down. He's just instinctively flicked his foot out as if he could nick the ball, hasn't he, like a goalkeeper would. And obviously Tyreek Mitchell was in the middle of the goal. I thought it was further out than he was. I thought it was more towards the post, but he's bang in the middle of the goal. So he's going to tap it in anyway. So it's frustrating, isn't it? Because you just feel like last week, undone by the balls in the air, long balls. So we just don't seem to be dealing with them as well as what we were. But I don't think it's panic stations. I thought they had a lot of corners, a lot of crosses that we dealt well with. It's just unfortunate how that ball sort of came to Tyreek Mitchell and Selhurst had to instinctively flick his foot out, which was a stonewall penalty. I don't know why the ref didn't give it straight away anyway, to be honest with you. Why it had to go to VAR for as long as it did as well. Like, it's just crazy. So, yeah, straight away it was penalty. So, got no...
I think what's the most annoying thing about it is that we all watch Eze just roll it into Nick Pope's arms a weak penalty. Of course, he fires this one straight into the... it was like into the side netting, wasn't it? But
it was close to Selhurst nearly got his fingertips to it, to be fair to him. Yeah. He kind of stuttered because of his run-up.
Yeah.
And if he hadn't stuttered, he'd have probably got an extra bit of a leap on it, but he nearly got there.
Our players were, and I'm not sure if it shows you on Sky, but Dominguez was going mad at the referee for that stutter. But
he pretty much stopped in the stutter, to be fair. He did. Yeah. It wasn't like a stutter where he kept going. He then stopped and then leaped, and it was a bit strange, but we're clutching.
He actually does take like a little bit of a step back. I jokingly put like he steps back, so null and void the goal. Like, but obviously it's not going to happen. But
I think they could do with. I'm not going to complain about it tonight, but I think they could do with clamping that out really, because it's just causing a bit of a grey area, isn't it, for to teams to complain.
I thought a while ago they did try to clamp it out, to be honest with you. And it
if like obviously the player stops and the keeper dives one way and then he just puts it the other, it's not ideal, is it? But yeah,
well, great response from our lot, because I personally thought at home watching it, really. So I was a bit like, are we going to score? Because we've not really created a lot, and then we get Daniel Munoz a yellow card and Elanga has a great free kick, and then from the resulting corner, we've scored one where. Murillo, for me, I think he instinctively just gets a toe out and it goes in the corner.
Well, as Alex Ferguson said, he could have killed him, couldn't he, with that challenge before Munoz? He absolutely took Williams clean out. But all I could see from the away end, I would listen to you guys. Obviously, I think it was Nico Williams' shot, didn't he? I didn't even know he touched it, mate. I just saw it deflect, and then obviously Murillo's wheeling away. So.
Honestly, you've probably not seen the replay yet, then, judging by how you're talking about it. It's dragged the shot and it's probably going wide, to be honest. And Murillo's literally just properly, he's not just touched it, he's actually flicked it with his foot. And it's actually quite instinctive finish, to be fair.
Yeah, because Anderson had gone and he
completely
gone the other way,
Well, after that, I generally thought the game was there to be won, but then I just thought the referee lost control of the game, to be honest, Reece. The amount of yellow cards, the amount of stoppages, the amount of fouls. Silliness as well that we was doing. Like, I know that I'm not the biggest Ryan Yates fan, but he come on and he absolutely killed us because he got two players booked for one bad pass as well. I couldn't believe what I was watching. But other than that, I just think we lacked so much composure all over the field, especially when Murillo went off. The composure went out the bleeding window, and I think we did well to get a point, to be honest.
I think it really showed how when Yates come on, and not bashing Yates at all, but unfortunately, I don't think he was good when he come on. I think it really showed how good Sangare actually was during the game when Yates come on.
I think the problem with Sangare was, and I agree, he played well tonight, but I think he had to come off because I think he got sent off by the end.
I don't disagree with that at all.
Yeah. You just obviously hope it, but Yates is a disruptor, and you know he's gonna. I've said it in this pod before, haven't I, about the yellow card bet, and they actually messaged Adam West straight away and put, "Oh, we're having Yates yellow card." Literally went to put it on, he got booked as I was putting it on. So it's just how it is, isn't it? He comes on and usually fouls someone and gets booked, but. Yeah, the referee, he just killed any real momentum. I mean, from when we equalised to the end, and that's why there was 8 minutes, because he made so many stoppages. It just was so nip and tuck, blowing the whistle. And I'm quite glad we'd equalised, because with how he reffed it, we wouldn't have done it would have been like the Everton game where he was just blowing up every 2 minutes. And I mean, what was it? We got seven yellow cards tonight,
Yeah.
and there wasn't any malicious fouls, was it, from us really? And
For me, the Morgan Gibbs White one was absolutely atrocious.
It was just booking people for like blocks. You know what I mean? Like you said, Annie, he just completely lost control, and that's why the game went how it did. To be honest, I think if we actually had a bit of a stronger ref tonight, it would have probably been a bit more free flowing game, and I think either side might have nicked it. But yeah, it was a fair result overall, and I'm just glad we haven't lost it because, like you said, Adam, they had a couple of chances in it later on. I mean, Alex obviously comes on the pod, would have been absolutely loving it when Eddie and Nketiah smashed that one over, and he obviously then had a goal disallowed for offside. So yeah, fair result in the end for me.
The thing was, the ref was so inconsistent because you wouldn't have seen this, Reece, but Chris Wood gave him the death stare when he got given a free kick against him from Jefferson Lerma, I think it is, because of the faintest touch and he gave a foul, and Chris Wood is honestly like, he's like, you are not on my Christmas card list anymore.
And he touched and the player went down. He blew up.
This is where I'm trying to get to, because in the first half, he gets brought down by Muniz. Muniz is completely wrong side of him, puts his arms on him, and Wood's going down, and it doesn't get given because it's too soft, apparently. But yeah, out in the middle of the pitch, it isn't. I just don't get that ruling. I mean, Lee's on holiday, and even he said it was bad, and he likes to protect them all. So yeah, but I mean, I think a point was a really good result. I think the lads responded to the result on Thursday night really well. I think it's now a good opportunity to get some rest, get some training done on the training field ahead of Leicester. Danny, I mean, who would you have said was your man of the match tonight?
Well, my man of the match, I personally thought Milenkovic was an absolute rock tonight, and I thought Elliot Anderson was unbelievable. Like his ability to nick the ball back off them and like charge up the field, and then he's back defending, and he's all action, isn't he? He's just incredible. He brings the ball out of the air, wriggles past a couple down the line, lays it back to Morgan. Then next breath, he's back on the edge of his own penalty area defending. He's just brilliant. So yeah, I'd probably give it to Anderson, but I thought Milenkovic was an absolute rock. But what I would say is with this Palace game, I personally had it as a great point for me, because I had it down going into this last block of games 3 or 4 games ago as one of the potential games that could slip us up, because Palace have just been so good recently. And yeah, I'm just buzzing with the point, me personally.
Yeah, same to you, Reece. Who would your man of the match been? Obviously, watching it in the ground, it's a bit more difficult sometimes.
Yeah, I probably agree with Danny really for Anderson. He just gets around the pitch so well, doesn't he? He's always looking to try and make things happen. He's aggressive, he's tenacious, energetic. Obviously, Milenkovic was kind of back to his normal self tonight, where he's just kind of the enforcer. I mean, he gave a foul at the end against him where Nketiah was going towards the corner flag. I mean, it never looked a foul in a million years. He just fell over. But yeah, I'd go for Anderson for me. I think he was probably the man of the match. But I will give a mention to Sangare as well. Not man of the match, but to come in, someone who's not started since August, and some of his passing. And there was I think the bright point for him was start of the second half where he did an absolutely brilliant tackle and it got us on the break, I think 3-on-3. And Morgan really should have shot. And again, he got to the edge of the box and then passed it to Elanga, who'd probably expects him to shoot and then didn't really expect the pass. So,
and it was an awful pass.
Yeah,
awful
that's
pass.
what I mean. Just that final third just let us down a bit tonight. But yeah, Anderson for me, man of the match.
Yeah, I agree. I thought he was superb. I liked that Nuno went for Sosa in the end. I mean, he pretty much brought him on just as we scored. I think he was going to try and bring him on before, but then we scored and then he still brought him on, which I was quite glad about. I just couldn't really get himself in the game, unfortunately. But I mean, Reece,
that's because of how disjointed it was, though, Adam. Do you know what I mean? Like Reece was saying with the referee, like we never ever was able to get on the ball after that and actually put any passes together. So it was so disjointed. So Elanga switching to the right and Sosa on the left, they never ever got in the game because of the referee. So it is what it is. But we hung on.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Reece, does this point give you that bit more confidence going into these last 3 games now, where it's a bit of a I mean, we keep saying it's cup finals. It's more like a shootout, but because obviously Newcastle are playing Chelsea on Saturday or Sunday, whenever it is. Does that give us opportunity
Sunday.
to?
I think it's Sunday before us. I think it's 12 o'clock.
It is Sunday. It is Sunday.
Yeah.
Oh, is it? It's like a super Sunday then. If it's starting that early, because I know we're 2:00. So, but does that give you a bit more confidence going into that Leicester game? That if obviously those two teams, one of them has to drop points. If not both of them drop points, does that give you a bit more of a confidence that if we do beat Leicester, which let's face it, we should, and we should be beating a team like them, regardless of any kind of rivalry they might think they've got with us.
If we can't beat Leicester, mate, then let's be honest, we don't deserve Champions League, do we? I know Leicester hate us, and I know Jamie Vardy's 1 goal off 200 for them, but they've been awful all season. They're relegated. Yeah, they might be up for it because it's a derby game, but we went there to the King Power, didn't we, and absolutely battered them. And it should have been more than 3-1 that night. Could have been 5. Hudson-Odoi at the post. Yates, he should have scored. Tap in. So the positive for me tonight is the performance was a lot better. I mean, obviously, it couldn't be much worse than the Brentford and Everton games. So hopefully we can shake off this little bit of a rut at home and put on it's about, like I said, it's about getting the 3 points into it, but hopefully we can put on a bit of a performance as well against a team who have been relegated on Sunday. It's a big weekend, and like I said on the last pod, it's like this mini season now. Not the end of the world tonight. A point. You're hoping really Newcastle or Chelsea win, because then if we win, then I believe we go back into the top 5. I mean, I'm not sure if it's possible, but wouldn't it be nice if Chelsea had got their Champions League place the time we play them on the last day, is what I'm kind of thinking as well. So I'm not sure if that's even possible, but we've just got to look after ourselves, and whatever happens in that game happens. Man City have got Southampton away, which I'd be absolutely amazed if they didn't win that. Villa have got a tricky game at Bournemouth, but they've obviously got 2 games after that, Spurs and Man U, what you expect them to win. So we've just got to look after ourselves and win on Sunday, and whatever happens. And really, it's still well near enough in our hands, isn't it, I guess.
Yeah, if we win all of our games, we'll get into the Champions League. So Chelsea are 2 points above us, and so are Newcastle. So I think a draw. You kind of want one of them to win, really. Probably Newcastle,
you do,
if anything.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking Chelsea because, like I said, could they maybe then cement that place before the last day, and then I'm not sure what, because we're going to get to the Conference League final, what kind of side that Conference League final is of our game. Maybe they'll rotate a few, because obviously they're going to be playing an half-decent side for once in Betis or Fiorentina in the final. So, but we'll see. We've just got to look after ourselves, mate, like I said.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Danny, have you got anything to add to that? Do you think that this point gives us that impetus to try and go on and get us a win on Sunday? And then if we get a win on Sunday, it kind of should give us a confidence for the last 2, you'd like to think?
Yeah, absolutely. I said this morning when I was at work, I'd be more than happy with a draw, because it sets up for Newcastle or Chelsea. One of them's going to drop points, and both of them are. And if it's a draw, then we'll go level on points. Then it's still in our hands, because we'll have Chelsea last game of the season. If one of them wins, then we win. We should, like you said, we should be beating Leicester. End of. And you'd like to think we will. And if we do, and then one of them loses, then we go back into the top 5. So this point's a really good point. A very good point. I think it's a point gained more than anything, because I think it could have been a banana skin. So it sets us up nicely for it to be back in our hands. We kind of rode it. We've played well. We've gone back to a dogged performance. We know we can defend, or by a trip in the box, we'd have got another clean sheet. So it is what it is. We roll on, and we will beat Leicester, and we will get back in top 5.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, I don't think there's. We will. Okay, cool. I like it. I like the confidence. What I was going to say is I find it really, really difficult to be part of this end of the table sometimes. It's very stressful. It's not as stressful as last couple of seasons. Why can't we have a Palace type season where in a bit of a cup final got not a lot to play for in the league? Do you know what I mean? But it's fantastic to be a part of, and I think actually Sunday is a good game for us, Danny, because because of that closeness of it, they're relegated, so it doesn't matter to them if they lose. But it might make them come at us a little bit more. At home, we've played the last 2 home games we've lost, and we've played against 2 teams that let us have the ball, and that's not really helped us a lot at all, has it?
It's not, but the teams that we've played against that have let us have the ball still have a huge attacking impetus to be able to catch us on a break, like what Brentford did twice. Well, so not so much a break, but like balls over the top, but still great players, Wisso and Buemo, Sharda. Leicester haven't got that. They can let us have the ball, even if we're not that great with it. They ain't going to really trouble us. So it's about how patient we can be. But the fact that we hadn't scored in open play before this game in 4 games, that worried me. So when we went behind today, I was a bit like, oh. But then we got back into it straight away, showed impetus to get back into it, played really well for a couple of minutes building up to it. The reaction was fantastic. And that can only bode well for going forward into these next games, like getting that duck off your back of actually not having scored in open play for a few games. After being the way we were, it can be quite detrimental to the mentality of the players when they're playing, when they go 1-0 down and whatnot. So for us to be going into these games, having scored again in open play, dogged performance, I think it's a good opportunity to go really put Leicester to the sword, if I'm honest with you.
Yeah, hopefully. Just before we finish up, I did want to ask you both about the rumours about Morgan Gibbs-White potentially moving to Manchester City. I mean, Fabrizio Romano's been putting this around on social media. A really bad timing, Reece. We'll start with yourself. I mean, what are your thoughts about this story?
Yeah, well, at the end of the day, it's planned to buy an agent, probably linked to Manchester City to try and disrupt us because we're challenging for Europe. Is it nice? No, of course it's not. But unfortunately, that's the nature of the beast, and that's the nature of football. Do I think there's something in it? Yes, 100%. I do think they'll be bidding for him in the summer. We had a message, didn't we, off a City podcast who said that the word is from there and that they are pushing. But it's one of them. He's got 2 years left on his contract, so basically the club needs to sit down with him and say, well, here's a new deal. If you don't want to sign it, then we look to maximise his value, because you obviously don't want him to get to a year left, and because then the value does decline. So, the ball's in Morgan's court. He either stays with us and signs a new contract, or Forest look to maximise the value in the summer. I think there's something in there, definitely. I'd be amazed if there isn't. I know some fans say, "Oh, it's a rumor and stuff," but I'm just looking into, like, people can say like conspiracy theories, but like with Pep chatting to him after the semi-final, and there's something in that, definitely. But something that you can never say about this board is that the sold players on the cheap, and if he does go, Forest will be maximising the value for him, and it might be one of them where Forest might turn around and say, well, if we get 80 odd million to 100 million for him, it might be a deal worth taking where we can, make the squad a lot better. Look at Villa, since they sold Grealish for 100 million, had been able to, with Champions League football, build that squad. So at the minute, it's just obviously talk, but I do think something will happen in the summer in terms of at least a bid. But until then, he's still a Forest player, and I'm hoping he gives his all for the club. I thought he gave his all tonight. Again, I didn't see a lack of trying. It's just probably a lack of, didn't quite come off him some of the passing. Like I said, that one where Sangare made that brilliant tackle and he got to edge of the box, pull the trigger. That's the only thing that frustrates me about Morgan, is that sometimes he gets to edge of the box, just pull the trigger. And and sometimes he does a pass what the other players aren't really expecting, I don't think. So, that's my take on it personally.
Same to you, Danny.
I think Reece has covered it all, to be honest with you. There's no fuel, there's no fire without fuel, is there? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's obviously something in it. To be honest with you, if you were Morgan the other way, you're not a Nottingham lad. Man City come sniffing. You're not really going to turn it down, are you? And you can't really begrudge him for it. He's been amazing for us if he does go. I just think it will happen. I think we have to be very much prepared for the fact that he will be going in this window. And if we maximise his profit, then why not? Because it, like Reece just said, it can allow you to build in key areas. And one thing about this board as well, you got to think back to some of the signings we've made as well over the last year or two have been absolutely sensational and well thought out now. They'll have a plan in place for this to happen. Morgan is not going to stay here forever. They will have a plan in place for when he leaves. Like, they have to be seriously naive to think he's going to stay with us forever and ever. Because as good as we've got, realistically, next season, we possibly won't be up where we are because these other teams will come flying back with a vengeance. Hence, Man City spending all this money on more players. So we have to be in a realistic position where we want to be in that top half of the table all the time. And we need to buy more players to fit other positions to make us more and more balanced and more competitive, coming off the bench to impact the squad. So Morgan, I think he will go in the summer. I just think we need, like Reece says, we need to maximise his profit. And I'd be asking for James McAtee in the opposite direction. I'd be asking for first dibs on him, 80 million and first dibs on him. That's what my take is.
Yeah, I think it's about succession planning into that.
Exactly.
Players come and go. Brighton are the kind of the masters of it, aren't they? Even with the managers and that, one player goes, they maximise the value, and they bring in somebody else, and that's what, if it does happen, that's what Forest have got to do.
It's sustainable, though, isn't it? It's being sustainable, isn't it? That's what it is, and that's what we've got to be. We've got to be clever. Fans can't get too downhearted when your fans' favourite player moves on because he's now worth 80, 90 million. It's a large amount of money to a club like Forest. Huge.
Yeah. Well, like, I'm sorry to Adam, but I've said to you, Anta, that I think City will come back and win the league next season. So you can see why players might want to go. The only obviously annoyance is from a footballing perspective is Pep going to coach all that maverick out of him like he has done with Jack Grealish, but that's another discussion.
As much as I love Morgan, I don't think we can turn that kind of money down for one. So anyone that says that we should turn it down is deluded, in my opinion. But I also think if Man City paid anywhere near 100 million, I feel like we'd be having their pants down a little bit, because as much as I love Morgan Gibbs White, his numbers aren't exactly amazing. They're on about him replacing Kevin De Bruyne. There's no player replacing Kevin De Bruyne in my eyes. He's the best midfielder to have ever graced the Premier League, isn't he? He's the best. He's the best midfielder that has ever played in this league. And I know, Danny, you absolutely love Steven Gerrard as an admirer from a young kid playing in that central midfield position. But De Bruyne has just been ridiculous. I think he's got like 280 goal involvements like in the league, which is absolutely outstanding from a midfielder in a team that's just dominated, to be honest. So it's fair enough. So
personally, I think he'd be going there to replace Bernardo Silva, but I don't think he'd be going there to replace Kevin De Bruyne at all. I think Wirtz will go and replace De Bruyne, and I think Morgan Gibbs White would be the one that would take over from Bernardo Silva, but that's another discussion.
And another annoyance.
We'll take
it. Another annoyance. 115 charges to Man City. Yet they're going to spend probably another 300 million in the summer. Like, okay, yeah, whatever, fair enough. Like, let's just get rid of them rules now. So Marinakis can spend his billions.
Yeah. I think that's the one thing that will happen. Marinakis is a hard bargainer, isn't he? Let's be fair. They're not going to be dealing with some wet wipe owner that will just give in to them. Do you know what I mean? He will be staunch and he will get what he wants out of that deal. And that's the one thing we can take a positive from, I think.
I just like to think if we got a lot of money for Morgan, I mean, I'd be sad to see him go. I'd be willing, wishing him well to go and smash it, to be honest, like, because he's been brilliant for us and he's wore his heart on his sleeve. But I think we can, like you guys have both said, we can go and strengthen the squad really well with not only first team quality but with depth as well. So yeah, I think we've kind of covered all bases on that, and I think
he might end up staying. Yeah, we never know in football, do you?
Yeah, well, yeah, you never know. He might sign a new contract. So it's.
Well, if he does, I'm all for that as well.
Yeah, so I just hope, obviously, if he wants to go, fair enough, I get it. But I just hope he doesn't. I hope he does it the right way. You know what I mean, and doesn't basically throw his toys out the pram. If Forest set a valuation, then there'll probably be some negotiation. And like you say, he won't be going on the cheap, because as well as Morgan's done for us, Morgan also has to think of what Forest invested in him and giving him this platform to build his career. Because let's be honest, when we did sign him for the reported fee that we did, everyone laughed at us. And now look at him. He's grown as a player. He's become the captain of the club. He's grown as a person on and off the pitch. So I think,
Yozers,
it's a
okay.
pretty, I think he is to be dignified if he does want to go.
Yeah.
But like we said, at the moment, we kind of don't know, do we? Again, I thought, might not have been his best performance now, but I thought he gave his all again on the pitch tonight. And for the last 3 games, that's all I want from him, really.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I think that kind of covers everything, unless you've got anything else to add, Danny, for either the game or anything else.
No, I'm good.
No. Reese, anything else? Did you enjoy your
Good.
visit to Selhurst Park after you've completed the Premier League now?
Yeah, it's old school ground, isn't it? It's very loud in that way and echoes quite a bit.
You weren't
like
sat
it.
behind a stanchion right in the corner like me and Adam were a couple of years ago.
Well, my partner sorted the tickets, and she selected random seating, so I was right in the corner.
Oh,
And I'll send you and Adam. I'll send the picture to Adam. And it was a disaster, really. So I had to move.
Sounds like mine.
You'll laugh when I show you when Adam shows you the picture.
Have you sent it in group chat? We'll put
I'll
it up
send it you after this pod of the seat. And the people who was on like the same row behind me was also laughing at their seat as well of how bad it was. But I just moved and stood somewhere where there was a few seats spare, and I just went and stood there.
And just a quick word on Hudson Odoi being in the away end. Like, did you ask him to come on the pod?
Hudson, he was not too far from me. He was, I think, with quite a few members of his family and that and friends. So I don't think anyone was really hassling him. He was just kind of stood there, and I think, at one point was kind of bopping away to his song 'cause people were singing it. So he's probably gutted he's not out there, isn't he?
Absolutely.
We did miss him for that balance tonight, I must say.
I do like when a current player gets in the away end or the home crowd. I do rate that. I think like it's kind of brave on one hand and like kind of, but just shows you're human at the end of the day, and you're a football fan. So yeah, good to see. So no, but thank you very much for everyone that's managed to join us. I know it's a bit of an odd one that we do these straight after games, but we might do them in the future, hopefully. So, but take care. We'll see you in the preview for the Leicester City game. But until then, come on, you Reds.